What's up, everybody? Blessed be. My name is Manon, and you are watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. Please visit me on my other platforms as well, including Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon, all links down in the descriptions below. So, I've discussed quite a few different spell techniques throughout this series of Witch in the Working. We've discussed candle magic, milestone magic, poppet magic, and even sex magic, to name a few. In this episode of Witch in the Working, we're going to cover another type of magic that I haven't gone over as of yet, and yet I would say it's probably one of the first magical techniques that many of us experience very early in our witchy careers. This magic is sachet magic. This is one of my favorites, as it's a simple type of magic, but yet so very powerful. I love magic that is carried out over time and not direct one and done type of deal. This is why my magical go-to, as many of you know, is candle magic using the 7-day candles, the cylinder candles. Sachets are another magic that it manifests over time, so to speak, as once you've created the sachet, you then either carry it around with you or you put it in a place to do its manifesting. So, enough of my chitter chatter, let's learn all about sachets and how to make them. Roll the intro. Welcome back, everybody. So what are sachets? Sachets are usually small bags or pouches, most likely created from some type of cloth and filled with a variety of magical trinkets and ingredients such as herbs, stones, crystals, and talismans, each picked out for their unique energies and magical properties. These very personal and empowered objects are made with intention, each stitch and choice of creation building a story of purpose and magic. In the world of witchcraft, sachets can be called by many names: charm bags, mojo bags, spell bags, or gree-gree, to name just a few. Regardless, at their foundation, they are all utilized for a common purpose: to act as a container for magical intentions, to bring about certain energies and spout forth specific desired goals. Sachets have been a part of magical practices for centuries. They are more than just a little bag stuffed with tricks and treats, so to speak. They represent a symbolic coming together of the 5 elements we all know so well in the craft communities and throughout witchcraft. They bring together a dance and cooperation of earth, air, fire, and water and spirit. By mixing various ingredients, a witch or occultist can embrace the sachet's magic for protection, love, prosperity, health, or any plethora of desired manifestations. Their adaptability and shadowy forms make sachets a uniquely sought-after decision for modern-day occultists. Whether you keep them tucked away in your pants or shirt pocket, hang them above a doorway or window, or place them beneath your pillow before bedtime, sachets unleash their magic in discreet but very powerful ways. They are both a magical creation of the witch's hands and intent, and a catalyst for change and manifestation. A sachet to many occultists is basically a bag of objects, if you will, that have been selected for their spiritual and magical properties. This can include a multitude of different herbs and plants, crystals, oils, and any other trinkets of the trade. The specific items are usually decided upon according to the magical purpose of the sachet. The sachet is then charged with a specific magical purpose. Whether carried on the person, placed in a home, or used in ceremonial work, sachets act as a concentration point for magical work to occur. While sachet is a sort of an umbrella term, various schools of mysticism have highlighted attention towards unique types of these magical pouches, each with their own little differences. Generally, charm bags are utilized for good luck and are often very simple in design and purpose. They're usually small and easily hidden, making them simple to carry around for the constant projection of positive energy, for instance. With foundations in African American hoodoo, mojo bags are precisely crafted to be a sort of living talisman, many times requiring the witch to feed the sachet with oils or other substances to keep the power strong and abundant. They're carefully hidden away after being worked and are personalized to their bearer. Spell bags are most often focused on a single spell or magical intention. A spell bag is usually used for a specific amount of time. Once the magical purpose at hand is achieved, one will most likely dismantle or dispose of the spell bag in whatever way they see fit. Originating from the voodoo tradition, gree-gree bags are protective amulets that can also bring luck or power to a practitioner or bearer. Unlike many of the other types of sachets, a gree-gree bag is individually connected to voodoo rituals and is more often than not created by a skilled practitioner of these particular rites. Across this big blue marble we call Earth, many cultures have molded the idea of the sachet according to their own traditions and beliefs. In European witchcraft, sachets are sometimes called spell pouches or charm bags, and are usually tied in with the Wheel of the Year celebrations or created amongst the mystical moon phases many of us cherish. Latin American traditions have adapted their own type of sachet, which many practitioners call an amulet pouch. This pouch is a small bag in which its contents contain charms and herbs for protection against the evil eye or sometimes draw luck towards the practitioner. These little pouches of power even extend all the way over to Asian cultures. Much like the other sachets we just spoke about, Asian ideas of these bags appear with embroidered good luck pouches or medicine bags. These pouches will usually include local herbs and talismans specific to an individual's magical needs and sometimes astrological influences. In the Middle Eastern and North African regions, sachets can often include the evil eye talisman or nazar, believed to protect against malevolent gazes. These pouches can contain a mixture of protective herbs, texts from the Quran, and the nazar charm itself, reflecting the spiritual richness of Islam and the regional folk beliefs. The Native American medicine bag is a sacred container that holds various healing herbs, stones, bones, and other objects of spiritual importance. These bags are personal, used in rituals, and are often passed down through generations, carrying with them the wisdom of the ancestors and the healing power of the earth. As we've seen, each culture designs the creation and utilization of these sachets, empowering them with specific symbols, trinkets, and rituals. But regardless of these differences, the sole purpose remains unchanged. These magical pouches are very personal and very powerful, discreet yet endless in their potential and magic to manifest our desires and needs. The history of the sachets is as unique as the contents contained within their magical fabrics and as intense as the cultures from which many of them were born. In the wavy and tanned sands of ancient Egypt, sachets performed a job that was both practical and spiritual. Kings, known as pharaohs, and priests utilized sachets to carry magical herbs and resins with protective properties, while many other Egyptians offered them in tombs as a means of helping the dead to achieve safe passage to the afterlife. They were not just a deliverance method of scent, but of magic and intention. Many times these sachets had inscriptions and prayers from the Book of the Dead written on them. In Europe, Asia, and beyond, the story of sachets shares a similar theme as the Egyptians. They were known to carry sacred relics in Buddhist traditions, protect warriors in battle with shamanic blessings in tribal societies, and in medieval Europe they became mixed in with the birth of herbalism. During the medieval and Renaissance times in Europe, the fine lines between magic, religion, and emerging science were blurred. Sachets were very popular amongst healers as well as keeping its reputation as a witch's pouch. With the unfortunate horrors of the plague and other epidemics, these sachets became an everyday sight. People would fill the pouches with strong aromatic herbs like lavender, rosemary, and thyme, as this was thought to ward off and protect against illness. Many times they were hung up in homes, worn like a necklace on the person, or stowed away into pockets. If you possessed these amazing little trinkets, you were sure to be protected from disease. Herbalism, an important basis of early medicine, was deeply rooted in the knowledge of the magical properties of plants. Healers of the time, many of whom were women, knew oh too well how to craft sachets for a multitude of purposes. Because of this, it helped bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual health of their villages and towns. Within many folk tales, sachets are many times at the basis of stories and superstitions. They acted as talismans and amulets against evil, charms for bringing one love, or robeways for fertility and prosperity for those who sought it. They brought with them the essence of fairy tales, where a small sachet of petals or seeds could tip the scales of fate for the protagonist. These small pouches of magic and medicine have not only been tools of the trade for witches and healers, but also objects of fascination, fear, and admiration throughout history. Ancient Egypt is very well known for its intricate mummification practices, as most everyone knows. Sachets played a huge role in this sacred ritual of mummification. Priests would often place sachets filled with herbs and spices inside the linens that were used to wrap the mummies for the ritual. These were not only used to help preserve the body, but also to give the deceased spirit magical ingredients that would protect them on their journey to the afterlife. Ancient stories provided that powerful pharaohs would have sachets containing rare herbs and precious stones to show that they were of high status even after death. During the Black Death that ravaged Europe in the Middle Ages, physicians known as plague doctors wore beaked masks filled with strong-smelling herbs. This practice was not exactly performed in the same mannerism as creating a sachet, but the idea was very similar, and this was a belief that certain herbs could purify the air and protect against illness. These beak-like sachets contain substances like lavender, mint, and myrrh, thought to ward off the deadly disease. The horrible fear of the plague made these herb-intensive defenses an everyday thing in those times. In medieval Europe, stories of witches' sachets, also referred to as witches' girdles, were passed around with both fascination and fear. These little bags of mystery were said to possess a witch's power, containing ingredients for spells, curses, and charms. One story from the old witch trials spoke of a sachet filled with strange herbs and the bones of animals. In this story, this particular sachet was believed to grant the witch her ability to speak with the devil. In the Renaissance period, love sachets were the popular thing to do before Valentine's Day cards came around. Horny young men all over would gift small, intricately decorated sachets filled with sweet-smelling herbs and flowers to their beloved. It was thought that the scent of the sachet would make the wearer irresistible to the person they were after. Romantic stories were popular that revolved around the exchange of such sachets. When these sachets were kept close to the heart, it was considered a token of affection. During the Age of Discovery, sailors carried sachets as talismans to protect against the treacheries of the deep sea. Stories and tales from old sea shanties and logbooks describe sachets filled with St. Elmo's fire, which is a type of plasma, bits of rope from a ship that survived a storm, and wood shavings from a figurehead carried for good luck on long voyages. During the Victorian era, when the language of flowers, florography, was at its high point, sachets illustrated messages between lovers and friends. These sachets were meticulously crafted with a plethora of flowers and herbs, each with its own significant meaning. For example, rosemary was for remembrance, while lavender denoted devotion. The subtle art of creating these sachets was often detailed in the ladies' journals of the time. So, what are some important things to consider when crafting your own sachet? The creation of a sachet is a very personal and intention-filled art. It involves the careful selection of materials that are not only physically appealing, but also thick in symbolic meaning and magical properties. In this magical practice, every piece of the sachet, from the herbs and crystals to the colors and symbols, is chosen with a purpose, bringing together a spell in physical form. The choice of fabric to hold the sachet's magical innards is the first step in the process. Different colors and materials can correspond to various magical intentions. Cotton is preferred for its natural properties and is often used in healing sachets. Silk can be used for love spells, given its luxurious texture and association with romance. Velvet is often chosen for prosperity sachets due to its rich appearance and texture. Colors also play a crucial role, with red for love, green for prosperity, black for protection, and so on. The fabric becomes the sachet's first layer of magic, setting the tone for what's to come. Herbs are the heart of a well-put-together sachet. Each plant carries its own energy and purpose. Lavender for peace, purification, and calm. Mugwort for dreams and astral projection. Basil for wealth and success. Rose petals for love and passion. These natural elements are chosen not only for their magical correspondences, but also for their histories and stories they carry with them. Crystals and stones are the bones of the earth, each emanating with unique energies that can amplify and empower the purpose of a sachet. Rose quartz radiates unconditional love. Tiger's eye offers protection and grounding. Citrine attracts abundance and personal power. Amethyst promotes spiritual growth and healing. Selecting the right stone involves tapping into its unique vibrational signature and aligning it with the sachet's purpose. Symbols and charms added to sachets are visual and energetic signatures that encompass the intentions behind the magic. Pentacles for protection and power. Ankh for eternal life and health. Runes for specific magical intentions, such as prosperity or protection. Personal items like a lock of hair or small note with written intentions make the sachet uniquely tailored to the individual or situation. Essential oils are often used to anoint sachets, adding another layer of intention through scent. Frankincense for purification and spirituality, patchouli for grounding and attracting wealth, or lemon for cleansing and friendship, peppermint for mental clarity and energy. The oils can be matched to the sachet's contents, reinforcing the desired manifestation. Once all items are placed within the sachet, it's sealed. This can be done with a simple knot or a special ribbon or even sewn shut. The act of sealing is symbolic of finalizing the intention, wrapping the magic tightly within its fabric walls. The last but definitely not least step in creating a sachet is to empower it. This might involve passing it through incense smoke, exposing it to moonlight, or reciting a spell or affirmation over it. This ritual is essential to activate the sachet's magical potential and to formally declare the intent for which it was made. So in making our own sachet, step 1, we will define your intention. Before gathering materials, it's important to clarify what you wish to achieve with your sachet. Your intention will guide every choice you make in the creation process, from the herbs you select to the color of the pouch. Take a moment to reflect on your purpose and write down your intention. Step 2 is to choose your pouch. Select the fabric and color that aligns with your intention. For love, you might choose pink or red silk. For prosperity, perhaps green velvet. For protection, black cotton could be appropriate. Decide whether you will sew the pouch yourself, adding your energy to the creation, or if you'll repurpose or buy a pre-made pouch. Step 3, select your herbs and ingredients. Pick herbs, crystals, and any other natural items that correspond with your goal. If your sachet is for protection, you might choose herbs like rosemary. For love, rose petals and rose quartz would be fitting. Research the traditional uses and associations of each potential ingredient. Step 4, add symbols and charms. If you wish, select symbols, amulets, or charms that resonate with your intention. You can inscribe symbols onto small pieces of paper to include in your sachet or attach charms to the outside of the pouch. Step 5 is assemble your sachet. Consider crafting your sachet during certain lunar phases, days of the week, or even specific hours that align with your intention. For instance, a love sachet could be made on a Friday, Venus day, during a waxing moon. Lay out all of your chosen items in front of you. Hold each one in your hand and focus on your intention before placing it inside the pouch. As you add each item, you may want to say a small affirmation or visualize your goal coming to fruition. Step 6, seal the sachet. Once all items are inside, it's time to close your sachet. You can tie it shut with a ribbon, string, or even seal it with a wax stamp for added symbolism, for instance. As you seal your sachet, imagine it as a completed work holding your intentions. Step 7, activate your sachet. To activate your sachet, you might pass it through the smoke of incense that corresponds with your intention, place it in moonlight, or say a prayer or chant over it. This ritual step is about connecting your sachet to the higher energies and sealing the magic within. Gently blow on the sachet to imbue it with your life force, effectively waking up the energies within. Step 8, carry or place your sachet. Decide where your sachet will be most effective. You might carry it with you, place it under your pillow, hang it above your door, or any other place you feel it should reside. Its placement should be intentional, just like the rest of its creation. Sachets can be hidden in plain sight as part of your home decor. Hang them in closets, tuck them into corners, or place them among decorative pillows. Incorporate sachets into your daily routine by attaching them to keychains, tucking them into bra straps, or keeping them in desk drawers at work. Step 9, maintenance and care. Sachets can be long-lasting, but they may occasionally need to be refreshed or remade, especially if they contain perishable items. Some practitioners choose to renew their sachets annually, or when the contents no longer carry a scent, or when their intention has manifested or changed. Step 10, reflect and release. Finally, reflect on the process of creating your sachet and be open to the changes it may bring. Trust that you've put your energies into the universe and be ready to receive. Remember, the power of a sachet also lies in the ability to let go and trust in the magic you've woven. So what are some common magical uses for a sachet? One of the most frequently used intentions for sachets is in the category of protection. Filling a sachet with protective herbs like sage, salt, and black tourmaline can be utilized by doorways or windows to fend off negative energies. Alternatively, sachets can also be used to bless and bring positive energies into the home. Crafting a sachet filled with ingredients such as lavender, rosemary, and quartz can help accomplish this magic. Carrying a sachet somewhere on your person can help magically, as an indefinite pool of the energy you want to bring into your life. For example, a sachet created for love might include rose petals, orris root, and a piece of rose quartz. Snuggled into a pocket or purse, the sachet works as a personal amulet, balancing your energy with your desires throughout the day. Sachets placed under a pillow can be a direct pathway for dream magic and peaceful sleep. Mugwort, lavender, and chamomile are very common choices for such sachets, improving restful sleep and prophetic dreams. They can be especially useful for those journeying with dream work or seeking guidance from the dream worlds. Sachets created with the purpose of bringing in wealth or success, filled with cinnamon, clover, and pyrite, can be placed where money is a factor in your home or business, or where you manage your finances to draw in prosperity. Carrying one on your person during business meetings or negotiations can also serve as a discreet way to bolster confidence and attract favorable outcomes. For those who create a sachet for healing purposes, whether emotional or physical, a sachet filled with corresponding herbs like eucalyptus for healing or dandelion for emotional release can be a comforting presence. Carried on the body, stored in a medicine cabinet, or resting on a nightstand, these sachets can be a helpful reminder of one's healing intentions. For those of us who travel a lot, a sachet filled with comfrey for safety, mint for alertness, and St. Christopher metal, for instance, can be stowed away into luggage or carried to promote safe passage and protect personal belongings. Students can benefit from sachets as well. These little pouches can be crafted to enhance focus and academic success. Filled with ingredients like sage for wisdom and clarity and carnelian for motivation and concentration, these sachets can be placed in a backpack or on a desk where studying takes place. In situations where someone may encounter negative or nasty energy, carrying or shaking a sachet filled with cleansing herbs like cedar, rosemary, and white sage can help to disband the negativity and clear the space. The possible uses of sachets in our everyday lives are limited only by the imagination and intention of the practitioner. They are an interpretation of one's personal magic, malleable and powerful. By carefully planning the use of sachets, one can logically mold magic into everyday life, carrying with them the basis of their intentions wherever their journeys may take them. Whether for protection, prosperity, love, or any other purpose, sachets are an appreciable benchmark to the energies we seek to acquire and a demonstration to the enduring power of personal magic. As our adventure through the magical realm of sachets comes to an end, we find ourselves amongst a new perception and gratitude for these small but powerful tools within the craft. The crafting and use of sachets is an ancient system that has traveled the sands of time, ever growing and changing to the seeds and cultures of hundreds of generations. Sachets, with their many utilizations and diverse history, remain a foundation to the creativity of humans in capturing the powers of nature. We've heard how they've been used for protection, love, health, and abundance, their ingredients as varied as their reasonings. From the protective amulets of ancient Egypt to the love tokens of the Renaissance, sachets have embraced our collective imaginations and given us a tangible means to affect the intangible. In modern-day magical practices, sachets are still used all the time. They offer practitioners a way to marry various elements of their craft, from herbal knowledge to color symbolism, from the spiritual significance of stones to the invocation of the elements. This mixture of the physical and the spiritual, the artistic and the functional, is what makes sachet magic so sought after to modern witches and occultists. At the essence of sachet magic, as with most magic, is intention. Through the calculated selection of each herb, stone, and incantation, we see the manifestation of will and desire. The sachet becomes a physical embodiment of intention, a vessel through which thought is transformed into reality. An important aspect of sachet magic, often overlooked, is the art of releasing. Just as we fill a sachet with magic, there comes a time when we must let it go, trusting in the forces that be to carry forth our desires. The act of disposing of a sachet once its work is done is as significant as its creation, showing us the cyclical nature of energy and the practitioner's understanding of impermanence. The knowledge of sachet making is an amazing tradition with many magical communities. It's not simply the creation of an item, but the passing along of wisdom, culture, and history. Each sachet tells a tale, each knot tied is a connection to the past, and every herb enclosed carries the whispers of ancient knowledge. We're reminded of the powerful interconnectedness of all things. Sachets are more than their contents. They are a nexus of time, tradition, and personal energy. For those who walk the path of witchcraft and the occult, sachets offer a way to physically engage with the metaphysical, to touch the untouchable, and to weave one's own thread into the vast richness of magical practice. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Witching and Working. Do you work with sachets? Do you have any good ideas for building sachets for a particular desire? Let us all know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to ring that little bell to be reminded of the wonderful and exciting future episodes to come. Many times, especially lately, when I do a spur of the moment video and I throw it out there like a live Q&A or something like that, a lot of you come back and say, I never got the message. I never got the message. That's because you have to ring that little bell and you have to choose all, and you'll get all the messages anytime I do anything. If you're not doing that, then you're gonna not get messages from time to time, and not get to join into like the live events, for instance. Anyway, I love you guys and gals, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be.